Welcome to another As I Fly. Today's topic is, how do you deal with a bully? When I was a boy, I used to accompany my stepfather or drive for him to the liquor houses, and he would drink and get into drunken brawls and fights. And his advice to me afterwards as I drove him home would be, son, don't you ever let anyone intimidate you. Don't let anyone bully you. You want to fight by any means necessary. If you have to bite them, hit them with a brick, pick up a stick. How many of you received that same advice about how to deal with a bully? But ironically, it seemed to me my stepfather was that very bully to other people. Fast forward a few years, and when I was I guess go back to the 6th grade. I actually had an opportunity to practice his advice when I bumped into this guy as we were in the bathroom in middle school. And he was big for his age, and I was small for my age. And he looked at me, and we had a crowd because we were changing classes. There was a crowd gathered right there at the bathroom, and he says, meet me after school, and I'm going to beat you up. I said, okay, I'll be there, mainly because I had an audience watching me too, and I didn't want them to see me punk out, so to speak. But I was scared. I was scared because he was a big bully and I was a small kid, but I couldn't let him know that I was scared. So the bumping into and confrontation happened in the early part of the day, maybe around second period. And so each period as we changed classes, he would see me and point at me and say, I'll see you after school. And I would be like, I'll be there. So it got to be 5th period, and he says, we bumped in we encountered each other in the hallway again. And he says, meet me by the big oak tree after school next period, and we're going to handle this. I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. Inside, I was scared to death. And so at the end of that next period, he kind of, I guess we kind of encountered each other in the hallway, and he took me to the side, and he says, I don't want to fight you, man. Inwardly, I was so relieved, but I tried to show that I was still tough. Yeah, I figured that was my response. But here's my point. Dealing with bullies can be awkward, and it can be scary. What are some bullies we have as adults? They say that 2 of the biggest fears are public speaking and of course, death. How do you deal with those bullies? Well, you confront them. The way you deal with the public speaking bully is you do more public speaking and becoming more comfortable. How do you deal with the death bully? Well, I have the opportunity to face death every day due to my occupation as far as helping out at the funeral home, sometimes helping to pick up a body or two, doing the grief counseling, aftercare for families. I'm able to actually think about death on a daily basis. To some, that may sound morbid, and you may wonder how could someone do that if you're not in that field. Well, it also blesses me in the sense that it makes me appreciate every day, because death is looming in the background for all of us. It is the great enemy, so to speak. So how do you deal with it? You confront it. I've confronted death by getting my affairs in order. Have your life insurance policy. Have you a will if you need a will. Get your living will in order. Power of attorney. All your legal paperwork to say if something happens to you, your family knows what to do and will be taken care of, and there won't be as many issues. I think it was Joseph Campbell that says, in the cave you fear to enter lies the treasure that you seek. Many of us have been bullied by insecurities, by things that are fearful to us particularly, and I don't know what yours is, but I do know that most of us do fear death. So this Hindsight Flash, I'm just trying to encourage you to go ahead and confront the reality of death. I'm not saying don't be afraid, but I'm saying go ahead and confront the fact that it will occur to all of us. And I think once you confront it, you'll realize how much easier it is to think about it, but not in a morbid way. Again, someone said there's beauty in the inevitable. If it's bound to happen, find the beauty in it. It's a natural process. It will occur to all of us. How can you deal with the bully? Well, get next to the enemy. Keep your enemies close, as they say. And figure out ways to, I'm not saying necessarily be comfortable with it, but acknowledge its presence, and it will have less power. And you just experience another Hashtag flag.